This guy who's not on the ballot.
And we're black, so I'm a little late. I guess I'm on what's called CP time. Just in terms of actually catching the actual press conference that was abysmal for Biden, who owes the black people because he knows that we voted him in, right? So right now they're doing some, post-analysis, which unfortunately is what I guess I am here to do with all of you here. I have my emoji pillows, I think. I'm going to be black to that. I'm going to be black to doing emoji pillows, as well as my character for Black for Black. So they're just talking about Trump and the degree to which Trump dominates and why the Democrats lost, because they suck. It's raining red. Hallelujah, it's raining red. That's what I think. So let's hear him while I get my camera.
It was about a couple of things. Getting the base, again, fired up about a non-existent issue. When you saw the videotapes of people being legitimately asked, okay, you're upset about this. What are you upset about?
The critical race theory is a total ruse. I mean, people are that dumb in America that they believe something and don't really research it or think about it. It's just knee-jerk emotionalism.
Critical race theory. Your college student is not being taught critical race theory. This is a high-end theory that's taught and discussed in a theoretical sense at the law school level. This is a legal theory and analysis. So what the GOP is,
but people are just terrified because it's really about the truth.
Drill it down to something that, it's like all of those immigrants going to be crossing the border in 2018. Right?
I love him.
Folks
Michael Steele.
Even
though he's Republican, it's like, well, you do what you can.
I got to worry about Canadians, not Mexicans, right?
Okay. He's so smart.
It's the same concept that was applied to something like this. The problem is it continues the narrative around race for the GOP that they seem to dig themselves further and further into. And I don't know how, on the back end, Youngkin's going to do what? He's going to execute an executive order banning something that's not currently being done in the state. And then what? Because the reality of it is, voters will quickly understand, as a lot of
just texting someone the link to see if they can come watch it.
That's not our truth. And here's the last point, real quick. Can we just put out there what this is really about? You have the black community, in whatever form and substance, whether it's through a theory that's being taught, that has been taught at HBCUs.
So critical race theory
at the high level. For over 40 years, Nicole.
Yes.
This isn't something
I studied it under Dr. Wade Boykin.
6 months ago.
Right. This is not new.
Administration. This is a 40-year-old study, but it speaks to the 1619 Project and other efforts that have been underway.
That seems as if it's too much. I don't know why he muted. It's not my TV.
Michael Steele, you muted yourself. You gotta unmute and start.
I'm sorry. I hit the microphone. I got so excited.
No, start over. I was riveted. We lost you at the 1619 Project. Start again.
So you got.
Don't we lose everyone with the 1619
Project?
Talking
about the 1619 Project, and putting out that study, putting out their
woo.
history.
It's fear-mongering. Fear-mongering.
This theory that's now been pulled out of the ether and made a political whipping post for Republicans.
It's a battering ram.
After school board members with. But all of it boils down to the fact that black folks are just telling their story now, and they've had enough of that story being told by white folks.
Yep.
And so now some white folks are not happy about that, and so they're threatened by it. We're not saying we want your kids to be fearful of this
or shamed.
We want your kids to understand. Damn it, we want them to know, contextualize this history,
so we don't repeat it,
and understand how we've been in the same struggle together for over 400 years. This hasn't been a separate journey, America. This has been a duality. This is the yin and the yang. This is the up and the down. This is the right and the left, not in political context. But the synergy of it.
Welcome, thank you for watching and tuning into Black Issues live from my living room. Deep briefing about Biden and the election and critical race theory. What are your thoughts?
Amazing, but also not shocking. So, we're sitting there going, oh yeah, they're going to be upset about this, right? But we still now are going to arm ourselves with the history and the narrative.
Ooh.
And tell our stories.
Not the narrative. Not the narrative. Oh.
Story. But as we're discovering, there were others who were the first to not give up their seat
That's
to
right.
a white woman on a bus.
That's right.
There were others who were the first to raise the flag about Jim Crow and the impact it has on people of color. So I think that's an important part of this.
There was Nat Turner. And to some, oh sure.
Just don't know or think they've been honest about how much they really wanted.
Well, I mean, I just think you went farther in explaining what it was and what people heard. And I guess the thing for all of us to sort of mull and come back here and talk about is it's clear the Republicans don't want, which you just described, Michael Steele, which makes me want to know if you're going to run as one. But two, can we handle the truth? I mean, is the right sort of the new snowflake in American politics?
Is it the right or the white?
Legitimate and universal that moms and dads are really uncomfortable with what's being taught, and while that's disappointing and
it's not even being taught. Y'all won't let us teach it. I wish they were teaching critical race theory to kindergartners. I wish.
I think that's a good question. And it's a fair question. No, I think you're right, and some really are, because how it's been approached to them. I mean, just go back.
Go Black.
A year ago. How many folks were running around concerned about critical race theory? I mean, did their child come home and say something? Well, I learned this theory today, Mom, that I should hate my own race. I mean, have children been coming home saying that? The 6th graders, 5th graders, kindergartners, high school students. There's a lot more to this, and that's why I say that this issue has been used as an avatar about other things.
It's a catch-all.
Transgender issue, the kinds of curricula that are being put together to begin some conversations in this space around race and civil rights.
They're terrified of it.
But this isn't unusual. We've been here before. We can go back and document, how folks were concerned, how the civil rights movement emerged in the late 50s and how that was played out in the 60s. There's a reason why. You had people standing in the schoolhouse door, didn't want to educate Black kids at all. Certainly didn't want to be integrated into programs with their white classmates. So we've been in this room before. Now a lot of it, folks, is just getting unpacked, and it's getting unpacked in a way that it's kind of making you a little bit uncomfortable. And we want to help walk through that with you. We're not trying to isolate and alienate people from the conversation. Yeah. We want everyone to get into it.
But they don't want to get in.
And so we're gonna lean on you. We're gonna lean on all of you. To be continued. Michael Steele, Jeremy Peters, Tim Miller. Thank you so much for starting us off. When we come back, a giant sense of relief. That is how some parents are describing.
So now they're going to talk about the vaccine. It's so funny that Biden wants to talk about the vaccine, but everybody wants to talk about Virginia. Let me go to Fox. Hopefully it was loud enough. I thought it was pretty loud. Yeah. Oh, maybe it wasn't loud enough the whole time.
That are bubbling up all over this country. All those stories. And
let me go to Fox really quickly before I hop off.
Don't go anywhere.
I am going somewhere. You can't do anything about it. 44, I do believe it.
I hope it's about.
Let's see here.
Unanimous, one of the strongest recommendations ever made to reform the government. And it worked. So I think, I hope this election may be some sign to both sides.
He used to be Republican governor of New Jersey years ago.
Both parties are well intentioned, so let's talk to each other and see if we can come out with some compromises. The country wasn't formed without a compromise. So let's think about compromise again. It's not a big
deal. It is.
No, it is not. Always good catching up with you, Governor. Thank you for taking time. I hope you took no offense to the dinosaur remark. I was just hearkening to another era.
No, those are quite nice dinosaurs.
Yeah, they're nice dinosaurs. Thank you, Governor. Very good. Governor Tom Kean. By the way, before we go to a quick break, we're going to be talking to the former Virginia Democratic Governor Wilder on this whole situation, he did sort of telegraph
Who is he
that,
and why
that
is he
you know,
there?
sometimes a race isn't appearing as it appears in the polls. What he makes of what's coming up right now and how the state could go forward, Doug Wilder on all of that after this.
Don't be fooled by the bike or judging by his jacket. While Ted's eyes are on the road, his heart stays home. He's got Gloria and 10 grandbabies to prove it. But his back made weekend rides tough, so Ted bought a card that's even
Sometimes people are
tougher
on the
and the
balcony
Medicare
and I'm just
coverage
like,
trusted
why?
by more doctors.
It's annoying.
Medicare from Blue Cross Blue Shield. By your side, no matter what. That's the benefit of Blue. Find your local Blue Cross and Blue Shield plan at benefitofblue.com.
All right, so Fox doesn't have anything.
Some
Let's see
days,
what CNN
You
has.
just don't have it. Now my uncle, he's taking Trulicity for his title.
Let's see.
But with the help of Rocket Mortgage and Built for Zero, my community has ended veteran homelessness. Yours can too. Join us. Visit homeforeveryvet.org to get involved.
Welcome to Evermode.
So all of them have commercials. This sucks.
Discover a world where magic creates amazing.
Well,
Where will your imagination
this is my lesson to myself
Evermode.
that when I know that there's going to be a press conference, I need to be ready already instead of waiting. So there we go. I am going to hop off, I think, and head to do some other things, and then maybe hop on later.
Beautiful ideas.
So love you all, Black. Thanks, Democrats,
But without
fumbling the ball.
You have the flexibility you need
Not smart.
to unveil.
So there you have it. I'll be on later to do a breakdown later or something. Okay, love you all.